Welcome to the Political Insider. We're going to take you behind the news and we're going to keep you up to date with what's going on. Let's kick off with we've got to give kudos, some credit to the ANC. They are a very, very brave bunch of people. They're brave behind the front line, but my Lord, they have decided to tweak the nose of Donald Trump. In a world where missiles are flying around, we seem to have no problem in doing whatever we know will really anger the US. And we started quite quickly. The US has just recently, within the last 2 weeks or so, then a newly appointed ambassador arrived in South Africa, and his name is Leo Brent Bazell, and he is quite close to Donald Trump. So he arrived here in South Africa, and he's been sort of trying to go. Now the guy's not a diplomat, okay? He's not. So let's understand that it's not like he's a professional ambassador. He's comes out of industry, and he comes to South Africa, and he speaks at his first engagement, which is the BizNews conference, which happened in Hermanus last week. And immediately when his comments hit social media, our government decided to issue a démarche against him. Right now, what is a démarche? It's a please see me letter, from the president. It's like it's a slap down. It's not quite expelling the guy, but it's a serious threat to the ambassador's stay in South Africa. They took exceptions to what Ambassador Bazell had to say at this conference when he said that what millions of South Africans say quite openly, including myself, and that is that Kill the Boer song is hate speech. I mean, you can't see it in any other light. The fact that it was sung generations ago doesn't make it any less obvious what the intention of the song is. But hey, before they issue a démarche against me, let's say it. He's the ambassador. He gets on there. It seems like what really triggered our authorities in South Africa. We must understand when it comes to diplomacy, South Africa has got the absolute efficiency of Switzerland. When it comes to everything else, it can wait forever. This literally got acted upon almost immediately. The sentence that seems to have really got the ANC going, and I say the ANC because they control foreign relations. It's their area. They refuse to let anybody in. Whatever foreign relations or every diplomatic relations we have is the policy of the ANC only. He says that the US doesn't care about the South African court ruling that said that kill the Boer is not hate speech. He believes it to be hate speech. Now, what happened is that the government says, well, that is undermining the judiciary in South Africa. Basically, where the judges have decided this is fine, you can sing it along. Nobody's going to say when you kill somebody, we mean kill somebody. That's really what the judges decided. He has said hate speech is hate speech. Now, this amounts to an attack on the SA judiciary, according to the government and according to a former ambassador and chief of protocol, Dr. Kingsley Matubela, right? And he said this is the attack on the judiciary. Apparently, when our ambassador went to America and we tried to defend him, when he said that their president is a supremacist, that's not an attack on anything. That was just him giving his own opinion. Hey, I don't know, different stuff. But apparently, the problem we have with these statements is it's insinuating, listen to this one, it's insinuating that the USA has extraterritoriality. In other words, they're not here, but they can decide what counts in South Africa, that they have extraterritoriality over South Africa, and that it can overrule a judgment by our judges. And that is a big mistake, because we are the mighty South Africa. We are the judge and jury of the world. We are the gold standard for diplomacy. We can tell you how to run your country. Never mind the fact that we've got a Madlanga Commission that shows that our judicial system is a complete mess and that we've got corrupt politicians and corrupt policemen and criminal syndicates running freely, known to the president, but nothing happens about it. Never mind that you can stuff money in your couch and all the various authorities will give it the rubber stamp. South Africa knows how to run countries. And we are not scared to tell you. So Ambassador Bazell realized that these comments were creating a problem. He tried to walk them back. He says it's his personal view that Kill the Boer constitutes hate speech, but that the US government respects the independence and the findings of the judiciary. But that wasn't enough. So South Africa is going to take this further. And in the past 2 months, what the ANC government has got us to do is to brush up on our French, because we've seen the expulsion of the Israeli chargé d'affaires when he was declared persona non grata, and now we've got a démarche against the US ambassador. Clearly, we are getting our foreign languages in order. But are we starting to see a pattern here? Because I suppose the question is, shouldn't we begin to expel the ambassadors of Saudi Arabia or United Arab Emirates or Bahrain or Kuwait or Oman or Jordan or maybe Iraq for costing the Iranian government by accepting their missiles? Because it's quite clear what we are saying here, right? We've gone after Israel, we've gone after the USA. This is in a fraught world. Why not go after those allies of the US and Israel sitting in the Gulf states that are diplomatically bad enough to accept the bombs from Iran? Because clearly that's about the only thing left for us to do. Very interesting to see how this is going to play out. I'm sure Donald Trump is going to send a groveling letter of apology to Cyril Ramaphosa any day now. The problem is it may be strapped to a cruise missile, but we'll wait and see how that one plays out. Right, big news, big news. We have got our next breakfast in April, and we've got two of your favorite analysts there on either side of the aisle, Prince Mashele and JJ Tabani, on the 16th of April in Sandton. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. Information will be on our website later today, sona.co.za. Right, let's get on to our long-awaited deployment of troops into our cities. Now, we've just told America how they should run their country and their diplomacy, and we then immediately have to send armies into our cities to show that we can't govern properly inside South Africa. Despite the fact that we are handing out information and handing out instructions to the rest of the world, we've got to remember that South Africa is flirting with failed state status. And nothing screams failed state louder than sending an army into towns, right? Because your police are incapable of managing the country, because the social structure in the country is in complete breakdown. We've got gangs, we've got drugs on the street, everybody knows where it is, and nobody will do anything about it. So, despite the fact that we know that the commissions have proved that the criminal justice system is on the verge of collapse, we've decided that our all-conquering army, fresh from its beating by Rwanda in the DRC, has rolled into Westbury and Rivoli on the western edges of Johannesburg. Now, it's not to say that they're not going to be effective. They're going to be effective for as long as they're there and as long as they've got guns. But the government has already said that they are leaving at the end of April. So they've got 6 weeks to be there. Now, if you're a criminal in Westbury or Rivoli or any of these other places where they're going to roll out troops to, you know they've given you the end date. Hide your gun away, go on holiday, go rob a different town. Do what you got to do, because what's going to happen after 6 weeks? After 6 weeks, let's just say, the troops leave. And then, what have they fixed? They've just created a little, pause in what's going on in these townships. Because understand that the troops being in the townships, soldiers being in the townships, is not happening while the government rebuilds police stations, reinforces the police, puts crooked cops in jail, rearms police, retrains police, does something. No. These soldiers are just in the townships, standing on the street corner with guns, and surprise, surprise, peace has broken out. But that peace will last for 6 weeks. Everybody knows it, including the criminals. So if you're a criminal and you're in one of those areas, all you do is you just hold fire for 6 weeks. They're going to be gone. You may even get yourself some weapons because soon enough they're going to leave them lying around. What is achieved by this? What is achieved by this? We've heard nothing from the police commissioner. Nothing. Naught. Zero. We don't understand who's in charge of this operation. Is it the police? Is it the Defence Force? Who's in charge? What is it you're trying to achieve? In the short term, they'll make some easy busts. There'll be some guy who behaves badly and some soldier might arrest him. Great. That's going to be the sum total of the impact of this, unless it's part of a bigger coordinated plan, which is going to lead to improved policing. We've replaced one police minister with another. This one is behaving like the academic he was. Feroz Kachalia has said nothing. Nothing's going to happen. So we'll keep on seeing the optics of soldiers going into the townships or into these gang-infested areas. Let's just see if anything comes of it. I am skeptical. Let me explain to you this beautiful story. This is fantastic. There is a municipality on the southern side of Gauteng. Mfuleni is its name. It's Old Vereniging in Vanderbijl Park. This is an area where no amount of poor service delivery will stop the residents from voting for the ANC. Nothing. But in our small way, hopefully some voters in Mfuleni will watch this and take notice. It's fantastic. The Mfuleni municipality pays 16 million rand, 16 million rand for 17 vehicles. 17 vehicles. They get 6 of those vehicles, but only 2 of them are still working. 11 vehicles never arrive. They paid for all 17 vehicles. All right, so 2 senior officials from Mfuleni local municipality confirmed that 17 vehicles were delivered when only 6 were delivered, and one of them has disappeared, and they paid for them. Right? They delivered 3 bakkies, but only 2 ended up being registered to the municipality. 1 Toyota Hilux bakkie gone. Which businessman sold them these vehicles? Well, his name is, and I'm not making this up, Mpho Edward Malema. Yes, I don't know either. You can look it up yourself. I'm not going to look it up. But anyway, Mr. Malema is now in because this has been raised by the DA Opposition Council, suddenly the municipality is doing something, because this started 3 years ago. The municipality has recommended criminal charges against Mpho Edward Malema, as well as the municipal fleet manager, Lerato Mpolo, and his deputy, Levi Tlatlele. Right, it gets a little worse than this. Of the 6 vehicles that did get sort of delivered, because 6 got delivered, but only 5 get registered, so 1 disappears. 3 of them were bakkies, 1 gone, and 3 of them were graders. But the graders were problematic from the start. The manuals, the operating manuals for the graders were written in Mandarin, and they had mechanical failures immediately and unfulfilled warranties when they did break down. After 15 days, 15 days, less than the millions they paid for all these vehicles, the graders just stopped working, and there was no way of fixing them, right? Mr. Malema's company is not an approved supplier of Toyota Hilux bakkies. And he still owes them 5 more bakkies since 2023. He says that they can't source Toyota Hilux bakkies in 3 years. Understand how many millions of Toyota bakkies are available, but apparently Mr. Malema can't find the other 5 bakkies that he owes, that he's been paid for. I wonder, I'm sure he's keeping the money in an escrow account for when he finds the bakkies. But then the municipal spokesperson, Makasonke Sangwene, has said that the council has resolved to open a criminal case. Not they have opened a criminal case, they've resolved to open a criminal case. Makasonke Sangweni, take an hour out of your day and open the criminal case, okay? Don't resolve to do it. That's a bit like a New Year's resolution. I'm going to gym. No, go to gym and then tell us. But they've resolved to open a case. He also urged political parties and stakeholders. I presume stakeholders, by that he means the residents who pay his salaries through their rates and taxpayers, you and I. He urges the political parties and stakeholders to allow the municipality to act decisively without external pressure, because they were going to act fine just with internal pressure. But it has been 3 years. How much less pressure do you want than this? So that's a Kuruleni. But don't worry. The ANC has got a solution to all of their problems. And it comes in an idea that has got the backing of the former Speaker in the House of Parliament and one-time Deputy President Baleka Mbete. Remember her? They have got a solution for the ANC's woes. She is one of the people pushing for a cleansing ritual at Luthuli House. They believe that the headquarters has been under spiritual attack since the Jacob Zuma presidency. They even claim that Jacob Zuma's 2024 electoral success with MK Party was influenced by these spiritual forces. And there's only one way to get rid of him, and that's through a traditional ritual where you use traditional practice, including the slaughtering of an animal at Luthuli House. And this, the intention is to purify the party and to remove these negative spiritual influences. The idea of the cleansing ceremony has faced opposition from the party's elders, and leadership have warned that these actions would make a mockery of the ANC. You know, people will look at them as sort of like old-fashioned, backwards, whatever you want to call it. But apparently the ANC is moving ahead. They've already consulted with traditional healers, and they've already undertaken a trip to the Eastern Cape so that they can get this, this once again. Surely you just do it. But anyway, no, they've already undertaken a trip to go and find this traditional healer who's going to fix up the ANC. Now, ANC spokesperson, my old friend Mahlengi Bengu, let them go to India, Motsiri, has denied that such a plan exists for a ritual cleansing ceremony. I have a plan for the ANC that would be far more effective, an alternative plan. Stop stealing our money. Start doing what you get paid to do. And that will solve 99% of your problems. I can promise you it'll be more effective than any traditional healer will be. Remember, we're going to have our own traditional ceremony to get you to subscribe to the Political Insider. Please hit that button. We'll see you again on the Political Insider. Thanks for joining me today.